The Almighty Warrior of the Female President. Episode 11. All the security department members are killed in one fell swoop. With so many security guards, cameras were installed without anyone noticing. The security department is really getting lax. It's time to take this opportunity to give them a good beating. Su Qing finished speaking and noticed Xiao Chen's expression. What's wrong? You don't want to be the head of the security department? Well, no, I just think that if I were to be the head, I'm afraid many people would not accept it, right? Xiao Chen pretended to be embarrassed, but he was happy in his heart. The head of the security department was the immediate superior of the security supervisor. Not convinced? Yes, I've only been in the company for 2 days and was just your bodyguard. Now I'm parachuted into the security department as the head. Can the people in the security department accept it? Let's not talk about others, but Supervisor Liu will definitely not accept it. Xiao Chen said with a sinister intention. Su Qing thought about it and tapped the table a few times with her onion-like fingers. Her voice was calm and domineering. Whoever is not satisfied can leave the company. Xiao Chen smiled. Okay, with the power of life and death in his hands, all the unsubmissive dogs can be killed in one fell swoop. Xiao Chen, just go ahead and do the security department's work. I will support you unconditionally. Su Qing showed her strong woman side, and she was completely different from before. Xiao Chen looked at the unfamiliar Su Qing in front of him and couldn't help but be stunned, and then suddenly realized, yes, if she didn't have some tricks, how could she create such a big company? You know, the mall is like a battlefield, a place where the weak are the prey of the strong and people are eaten without spitting out bones. This woman, although her temper is not so cold and she doesn't look so domineering, she is definitely not a simple character. After a few thoughts, Xiao Chen smiled. Okay, since you even gave me the Shangfeng sword, it would be unreasonable for me to refuse. President Su, I'll take this job. Haha, I'm a little curious now. What will the security department look like under the leadership of you, the Special Forces King? I'm looking forward to it. Su Qing also said with a chuckle. Xiao Chen shrugged. I've already said, I'm not a Special Forces King, I'm just a pig farmer. No matter what, I believe in your ability. Su Qing said. Her eyes fell on the bug on the table, her voice sank. What do you think about the bug? Xiao Chen picked up the bug and narrowed his eyes. I think there are 2 possibilities. One is that the person who sneaked into your office was a master, and he avoided surveillance and patrolling security. What about the other one? It was done by someone inside. What? Someone from the company? Su Qing's face changed slightly. Xiao Chen nodded. Yes, people inside the company are familiar with everything. This should be impossible, right? Nothing is impossible. Xiao Chen shook his head. Don't spread the matter of the bug for the time being, so as not to alert the enemy. Just pretend that nothing happened. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Okay. Including Qin Lan. Sister Lan? Su Qing widened her eyes. Do you suspect her? Except for you, I suspect anyone in the company, and she is the person who goes in and out of your office most frequently, so she is more suspicious. No, it can't be Sister Lan. Mr. Su, there's no point in talking about this now. Whether it's possible or not is not up to you or me. I will find out. Xiao Chen said seriously. Su Qing was silent for a few seconds, then slowly nodded. Okay, you can check, and you must check it thoroughly. I will. Su Qing looked at Xiao Chen deeply, picked up the phone on the table. Hello, Sister Lan, come to my office. Soon, there was a knock on the door, and Qin Lan came in from outside. Boss Su, what do you want to talk to me about? Sister Lan, I just discussed with Xiao Chen, and he will take on the position of head of the security department. The HR department hasn't said hello yet, so you should follow up on this matter in person. I still have to go to the laboratory later. Qin Lan looked at Xiao Chen in surprise, and nodded. Okay. After the 3 of them chatted briefly for a few more sentences, Xiao Chen and Qin Lan left the president's office. Great, Xiao Chen, you became a middle-level leader the day after you came to the company. This speed is faster than a rocket. Qin Lan said with a sweet smile as soon as she went out. Hee, it's just so. However, even if I become a middle-level leader, Sister Lan is still my leader, and she can still use her hidden rules on me as usual. Xiao Chen had a smirk on his face. Qin Lan rolled her eyes at Xiao Chen and said, "What are you thinking about all day long?" "Power, money, and women," Xiao Chen said honestly. "Power, money, and women? Haha, you have a distorted outlook on life. Why don't you think more about how to build a new socialist society?" Xiao Chen curled his lips and said, "I'd better build the security department first. As for such a big thing as building a new socialist society, it's not my turn to worry about it for the time being." "Okay, I won't talk nonsense with you anymore. I'll tell you in detail about the situation of the security department. I thought it would take you a while to get promoted, but I didn't expect it to be so soon." Xiao Chen was stunned and looked at Qin Lan. "What do you mean?" "I have told General Manager Su about the situation of the security department before, but she has not found a suitable candidate. Then you appeared, and we discussed it and arranged you to the security department. I planned to let you stay there for a while to learn more about it, but I didn't expect her to let you take office so soon." Xiao Chen was speechless. Damn, it turned out that this was not a temporary decision, but a premeditated one. Regardless of whether there was a bug or not, the head of the security department would have to fall on his head. "What's wrong? You look unhappy?" No, I'm obsessed with being an official. How can I not be happy to be one?" Xiao Chen grinned, and his thoughts turned to Sister Lan. "Do you know why President Su asked me to be a department head so quickly?" Qin Lan shook her head. "I don't know. I'm just curious. Did something happen?" "A thief broke into the president's office last night." When Xiao Chen said this, his eyes were fixed on Qin Lan, trying to find something. "Thief?" Qin Lan looked surprised. "What was lost?" "Nothing was lost, so President Su doesn't plan to call the police." Xiao Chen retracted his gaze. He didn't find anything unusual on Qin Lan's face. Oh, no wonder President Su wants to take action against the security department. Qin Lan suddenly realized, then said in a cold voice, "The company has so many security guards, but a thief still broke into the office. They should all be fired." "Haha, if they are all fired, then I will be left alone, right? In fact, the problems of the security department are not that serious. Except for a few black sheep, the overall situation is still okay." Qin Lan looked at Xiao Chen with a smile when she heard this. "Black sheep? What do you plan to do?" "A new official has 3 fires to start with. I must also burn one. As for who will be burned, haha, it depends on who is unlucky." Xiao Chen grinned and stood up. "Sister Lan, I can't wait to start the fire." "Okay, then go ahead. After I communicate with the Human Resources Department, I will go to the security department to find you." "Okay." Xiao Chen nodded, turned and left. Qin Lan looked at Xiao Chen's back and showed a playful smile. Yesterday, he just occupied Lu Dekue's office, and today he is described as a black sheep. Haha, Lu Dekue, who has always been domineering, met this guy, which is also considered to be unlucky for 8 lifetimes. However, when she thought of what Xiao Chen said about the thief entering the president's office, her smile was restrained a little, and she slowly narrowed her eyes. Xiao Chen left the assistant's office and saw that Su Qing was not next door, so he called her and made an appointment with her about the thief, so that she would not let it slip. In addition, he also planned to use this reason to go to the security department to make the first fire of the new official. After the call, Xiao Chen hummed a little tune and walked towards the security department, but he felt a little absurd in his heart. He actually became the director of the security department. It was really bullshit. However, as long as he could help Su Qing solve the problem, let alone the director of the security department, even if he was a small broken security guard, he had nothing to say. Pinswho.com https://www.vodtw.la. He stood at the door of the security department again, but his mood was different from yesterday. Yesterday he was under the eaves, but today he was the my territory, I am the boss. These are 2 completely different things. "Brother Chen, you are here." When Xiao Chen was still sighing about the absurdity of this dog-day life, the door of the security department opened and Ding Li came out. "Well, Ding Li, where are you going?" Xiao Chen smiled when he saw that it was Ding Li. "I'll go on duty." "Oh, then you go." Xiao Chen nodded, and then he thought of something. "Hey, Ding Li, doesn't the security department have 2 groups taking turns? You should rest today, right?" The smile on Ding Li's face froze, and it was a bit forced. "Haha, 1 group is short of manpower today, so I'll come to take a substitute." "Substitute?" Xiao Chen frowned and looked at Ding Li. Was it arranged by Lu Dekue? Yes, it was Master Lu. Before Ding Li could finish speaking, Lu Dekue's voice came from inside. Ding Li, why the hell don't you hurry up and go on duty? What are you dawdling at the door for? If you don't go, be careful that I'll deduct your salary. Manager Lu, I'll go right away. Ding Li responded hurriedly, and then whispered, Brother Chin, I'll go on duty first, and we'll talk after the shift. I'll treat you to lunch at noon. What the hell is duty? Do your job well. You don't have to do the job that you shouldn't do. Xiao Chen grabbed Ding Li, who was about to leave, and dragged him into the security department office. Brother Chin, what are you doing? Ding Li's face turned pale, and he said worriedly. Xiao Chen turned his head and asked, Ding Li, what you said yesterday about recognizing me as your big brother, does it still count? Of course it counts. Well, since you recognize me as your big brother, then as your big brother, I will definitely not let anyone bully you. Xiao Chen said, and looked at Lu Dekue, who was playing games in front of the computer. Lu Dekue, have you forgotten what I said yesterday? Lu Dekue raised his head and looked at Xiao Chen with squinted eyes. What did you say? I said, he will be protected by me in the future, and I don't want anyone to bully him again. Xiao Chen said coldly. Hey, Xiao Chen, which eye of yours saw me bullying him? Why, do you want to stand up for him? Lu Dekue laughed at his face. Boy, don't forget, you are just Mr. Su's bodyguard. It is not your turn to point fingers at our security department's affairs. Episode 12. The world has changed. Although Lu Dekue's voice was not loud, it was full of contempt and provocation. Xiao Chen looked at Lu Dekue's face full of arrogance and suddenly laughed. Wasn't it his turn to make decisions? What are you laughing at? Lu Dekue stood up. Boy, let me tell you again, Ding Li is from our security department. He has to do whatever I tell him to do. You want to protect him? Okay, then if you have the ability, let him be President Su's bodyguard too. Brother Chen, forget it. It's okay for me to be on duty. Seeing that Lu Dekue was so aggressive, Ding Li pulled Xiao Chen and persuaded him in a low voice. That's right, see? Even Ding Li himself has no objection. How can you pretend to be Lei Feng? Lu Dekue sneered repeatedly. You are in a difficult situation, and you still want to stand up for others? If you have time, you should think more about which hospital you want to stay in. Xiao Chen raised his eyebrows when he heard this. What do you mean? Nothing, I'm just reminding you not to meddle in other people's business. Dekue didn't say much. He was afraid that if he said too much, he would scare this kid away. If he ran away, how could he take revenge? Then I have to take care of this trivial matter today? The smile on Xiao Chen's face disappeared. The first thing he did as a new official was to burn this grandson. Care? Why do you care? Lu Dekue refused to give in. With Ren Kuen's two masters, he was not afraid of Xiao Chen at all. He didn't have to swallow his anger when his office was occupied like yesterday. In his opinion, even if Xiao Chen was a first-class master and his strength was comparable to that of a soldier king, so what? Now, as long as he made a call to Ren Kuen, the latter would immediately bring two first-class masters over. With the same strength, 2 against 1, it would be easy to abuse Xiao Chen and beat him to his knees and beg for mercy. At that time, he would not miss the opportunity to beat the dog when he was down. He wanted to let Xiao Chen know that if he offended him, Lu Dekue, he had to kneel and get out of the company. The security guards in the office also looked over here at this time. Whether they were there yesterday or not, they had heard about the conflict between Xiao Chen and Lu Dekue. Especially the few young men who were beaten in the gym, they all sneered at this time. Boy, let's see what will happen to you today. Xiao Chen swept his eyes over everyone, taking in their expressions. Just as he was about to speak, he heard a pleasant and domineering voice coming from the door, because he is now the head of the security department. Hearing the voice, everyone subconsciously looked towards the door, and when they saw the person coming, they were all stunned. Pinswho.com https://www.vodtw.la. Haha, Sister Lan, you're here. Xiao Chen looked at Qin Lan and smiled. It was really the right time. Assistant Qin, why are you here? Almost at the same time, Lu Dekue also spoke, with a flash of heat in his eyes. What a stunner! Qin Lan held a folder in her hand, stepped on high heels, and walked in slowly. Hello, Assistant Qin. The other security guards greeted her one after another, and their tone was very respectful. Everyone knows that in the company, although Qianlan is only an assistant in name, she actually holds great power. Even the company's vice president and several department heads have to give her some face. So, when these security guards see her, it's almost the same as seeing Su Qing. Qianlan nodded and looked at Lu Dekue. I'm here to announce a personnel appointment. Personnel appointment? Lu Dekue was a little surprised. Is there any position change in the security department? Suddenly, he thought of a possibility and was overjoyed. Could it be that he was going to be promoted to the head of the security department? Yes, it must be like this. Although there are 2 supervisors in the security department now, the other one has been in the factory and has no chance to show his abilities. And he worked as a bodyguard and driver for General Manager Su a while ago. It must be because of his good performance that General Manager Su asked him to be the head of the security department. Yes, that's right. Qianlan seemed to have said something about the head of the security department just now. He must have been promoted. Thinking of this, Lu Dekue pushed Ding Li aside and walked quickly to Qianlan. Assistant Qin, is it the appointment of the head of the security department? Yes, about the appointment of the head of the security department. Ah. Lu Dekue was overjoyed when he heard this. Assistant Qin, thank you for General Manager Su's trust. I will definitely live up to her expectations and do a good job as the head. Xiao Chen laughed. This stupid person has a big brain. Manager Lu, I think you misunderstood. The position of head is not for you. Qianlan looked at Lu Dekue with some pity and shook his head slowly. Lu Dekue's smile froze. It's not him? In the security department, who else is qualified to be the head except himself? Then, who will be the director? Xiao Chen. Qianlan looked at Xiao Chen and read out the appointment. From now on, Xiao Chen is the director of the security department. What? Lu Dekue's eyes widened, his face full of disbelief. Xiao Chen? This is impossible. How can he become the director of the security department? Qianlan opened the folder and took out the appointment letter from it. This is the appointment letter issued by General Manager Su. It has General Manager Su's signature on it. If you don't believe it, you can take a look. As she said that, she handed the appointment letter to Lu Dekue. Lu Dekue grabbed it and read it carefully. The more he read, the uglier his expression became. It's impossible. How could the position of director be given to Xiao Chen? The expressions of other people were also different. Some were happy and some were worried. However, everyone knew that the security department was probably going to change. Manager Lu, didn't you just say that it's not my turn to make decisions about the affairs of the security department? What about now? Is it my turn? Also, I said that I would definitely take care of this trivial matter, and you asked me why, right? Then I will answer you now, just because I am the head of the security department now, okay? Just because I am the head of the security department now. Hearing this, Lu Dekue trembled. Why did this sentence sound so familiar? Yes, he remembered clearly that the first sentence Qianlan said when she came in was just because he is now the head of the security department. Just now, he didn't hear it clearly and didn't think about it carefully. Now he suddenly remembered it. This sentence was like a loud slap in his face. No, how is it possible? How could President Su let someone who has just been in the company for 2 days be the head? I don't believe it. Lu Dekue stared at Qianlan and shouted loudly. Manager Lu, what you have in your hand is the appointment letter signed by General Manager Su. Qianlan said lightly. I don't accept it. Why can he, who has just been in the company for 2 days, be the department head? I have been in the company for so long. Even if I have no merits, I have worked hard. Lu Dekue shouted unwillingly. If you don't accept it, you can go to General Manager Su. Qianlan's tone turned cold. As for merits and hard work, let's not say that you don't have them. Even if you have them, the company has paid you. It is your job obligation to fulfill. Lu Dekue was stunned, but still couldn't accept it. No, I don't accept it. By the way, I have to remind Manager Lu that you should take a closer look at the appointment letter. There is such a sentence on it: Xiao Chen has the right to do anything to the security department personnel without reporting to the human resources department and the president's office. What does this sentence mean? I think Manager Lu should understand it, right? Lu Dagui's heart trembled. Of course he understood what this sentence meant. This was the imperial sword given to Xiao Chen by Su Qing. He could kill first and report later and fire anyone in the security department. Xiao Chen, congratulations. Qin Lan was too lazy to care about Lu Degui anymore and smiled at Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen nodded and said with a smile, haha, thank you for President Su's trust. I will definitely live up to her expectations. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Lu Degui had said this just now. Now that Xiao Chen said it again, it was particularly harsh. He felt like a clown, and now he was slapped to the ground. Since the appointment letter has been delivered, I'll leave first. If you have any questions, you can call me at any time. Both Mr. Su and I will strongly support your work. Just let go and do it. Qin Lan threw down this sentence and turned away. The sound of high heels gradually faded away, and the security department was still silent. Obviously, everyone had not recovered from this sudden change. Xiao Qing glanced at everyone, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Ding Li. Ah. Brother Chen, what's wrong? Ding Li woke up and looked at Xiao Chen with admiration. Awesome, idol. Change the sign in my office later. Replace it with the sign of Security Department Minister. What's the matter with hanging a sign of supervisor? Xiao Chen pointed to the sign at the door of the office and said deliberately. Yes, Brother Chen. No, it's Minister Xiao. Ding Li nodded vigorously. Although he was cowardly by nature, he was not a fool. He knew that he would not be bullied anymore. Listening to the conversation between the two, other people in the security department also reacted. Well, the security department has really changed. Except for Lu Degui's confidants, the other security guards squeezed out a smile and stepped forward to congratulate. Congratulations, Minister Xiao. Hee, I'm a newcomer. If there is anything I don't do well, please give me some advice. Xiao Chen did not act as domineering as he did when facing Lu Degui, but smiled gently and greeted everyone one by one. The security guards, who were originally a little nervous, saw that the new leader was so kind and not as arrogant and domineering as the legend said, and they all breathed a sigh of relief. At the same time, they glanced at Lu Degui, and it was estimated that there would be more fun to watch. Lu Degui looked at Xiao Chen, who was greeting everyone, his eyes red. Boy, you don't have to be proud, I'll send you to the hospital later, and see how you can still be the minister of the security department. Xiao Chen sensed the vicious look from Lu Degui, sneered in his heart, and said, Manager Lu, come to my office, I have something to talk to you about. Whatever it is, just say it here. Lu Degui replied coldly. Okay, it's okay to say it here. Xiao Chen did not insist and sat on the chair next to him. Manager Lu, who told you to play games during working hours? The atmosphere in the security department suddenly became cold, and the show began. The new director was going to take action against Lu Yanluo. Xiao Chen, don't think that you can act arrogantly in front of me just because you are the director. Humph, believe it or not, I can send you to the hospital with just one phone call. Lu Degui said, staring at Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen smiled, and his smile was a little playful. Hee, do you believe that I can get you out of the company immediately with just one word? Episode 13. Public Revenge. Lu Degui's face changed when he heard this. Although he didn't want to admit it, he had to admit that Xiao Chen's words could really make him leave the company. If he left the company, what would be the point of sending Xiao Chen to the hospital? At most, it would just be a way to vent his anger. What he wanted was for Xiao Chen to go to the hospital and he would be the director. Thinking of this, Lu Degui took a deep breath and loosened his clenched fists. I did something wrong in this matter. I will pay attention to it in the future. Lu Yanluo bowed his head. This surprised many security guards. Lu Yanluo, who had always been domineering and bullying others, actually bowed his head. People watched the excitement without fear of big trouble, secretly feeling sorry. Why did he become a coward? How great would it be if they could fight? I heard that the fight was very intense in the gym yesterday. Why didn't they do it today? Haha, since Manager Lu has realized his mistake, let's forget about it this time. Unexpectedly, Xiao Chen also became easy to talk to, smiling and nodding. Lu Degui breathed a sigh of relief, but sneered in his heart, boy, I'll call Ren Kuan later. Manager Lu, Do you know why General Manager Su asked me to be the department director? Xiao Chen lit a cigarette and asked. I don't know, General Manager Su must have her reasons for doing this. Lu Dekue squeezed out such a sentence from his teeth, but in his heart he even resented Su Qing. Haha, General Manager Su did have her reasons for doing this. When Xiao Chen said this, his voice suddenly sank and his right hand slammed on the table fiercely, because the security department has reached the point where it must be rectified. The huge noise scared everyone. The security department has reached the point where it must be rectified? What does it mean? Manager Lu, how many security guards were on duty at the company last night? Xiao Chen looked at Lu Dekue and asked coldly. Lu Dekue frowned and subconsciously said, there should be 12. 12 security guards? Humph, there are 12 security guards on duty, and a thief got into the president's office? Xiao Chen said, and his eyes swept over the crowd, carefully observing their reactions. Hearing this, everyone's face changed drastically. A thief got into the president's office? What? This is impossible? Lu Dekue also widened his eyes. Impossible? Do you want me to ask General Manager Su to come here in person to prove it? Xiao Chen said coldly. This. No. Lu Dekue shook his head hurriedly. Although nothing was lost, General Manager Su was very angry, so she wanted to reorganize the security department. Xiao Chen paused and continued in a deep voice, in addition, General Manager Su and I checked the surveillance and didn't find anything abnormal. Did you call the police? General Manager Su didn't call the police because nothing was lost, but she said that the security department can't continue to be lazy. I was entrusted with this task in a critical moment and took over this heavy burden. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Lu Dekue and others curled their lips. Bullshit, it's just a small matter, and you still accept the task in a critical situation? As the saying goes, in troubled times, severe punishments should be used, so I decided to conduct a comprehensive assessment in the security department. Comprehensive assessment? The security guards looked at each other, all a little confused. What the hell is this? Those who pass the assessment, stay. Those who fail the assessment, leave. This is why General Manager Su gave me the power of life and death, so whether you want to go or stay is up to you. As soon as these words came out, everyone changed color. Expel? Dingli, call another group of colleagues and ask them to come to the company immediately for assessment. After the assessment, those who stay will be regrouped and arranged. Ah. Dingli was stunned, and his face was full of worry. Would he be fired? What? Hurry up and get everyone back. Xiao Chen winked at Dingli. Oh, I'll call right away. Dingli understood something and nodded hurriedly. Xiao Chen looked at Lu Dekue again. Manager Lu, as a leader, you have an unshirkable responsibility for the thief in the president's office, so the assessment will start with you. Lu Dekue's heart jumped, and a bad premonition emerged. How to assess? Haha, let's go to the gym first, and you'll know when we get there. Xiao Chen said, and stood up and walked out. Gym? Lu Dekue's face changed again, and the bad premonition became stronger. Wouldn't this guy take the opportunity to take revenge for yesterday? Not only him, but also the other young men changed their faces. Looking at each other, they thought of the same thing. This new official is probably going to take revenge for his personal grudges. Arriving at the gym, Xiao Chen leaned on a treadmill and said with a smile, Manager Lu, you said yesterday that being a bodyguard requires sufficient combat effectiveness. I think that being a security guard also requires strength. Otherwise, if there is any emergency, how can you protect the company's property safety? Lu Dekue was already sure that this guy was going to take revenge for his personal grudges. Manager Lu, if you want to be strong, you must first have a strong physique. I don't ask for more. Just do 300 push-ups first. Lu Dekue's mouth twitched a few times. 300 push-ups? Damn it. What, Manager Lu doesn't plan to accept the assessment? Xiao Chen raised his eyebrows and said coldly. Lu Dekue gritted his teeth and endured it. He endured it for the time being. Okay, I'll accept the assessment, but I want to go to the bathroom first. Okay, then go quickly and come back soon. Don't even think about running away to pee, otherwise, I'll have to let you leave the company. Lu Dekue suppressed his anger and walked out quickly. He was going to call Ren Kuan and ask him to bring 2 masters over to deal with this bastard. Xiao Chen looked at Lu Dekue's back, his mouth curled up. Damn it, you assessed me yesterday, didn't you? It won't be over until I make you pee blood today. And you guys, I saw that you were pretty strong yesterday, 200 push-ups each. Xiao Chen pointed at a few of Lu Dekue's confidants. His intention to take revenge for personal gain was obvious. Everyone else, 50 each, start now. Several young men had 1,000 alpaca horses galloping in their hearts. Damn, how dare they not be so direct? However, no one dared not to do it. Ding Li took the lead and soon there was a sound of grunting in the gym. While the security guards were doing push-ups, Lu Dekue also called Ren Kuan. But what made him crazy was that Ren Kuan's phone was turned off and he couldn't get through at all. There was no way, he could only put away his phone and decided to go back and do push-ups first. After passing this level, he would find Ren Kuan to take revenge. When Lu Dekue returned to the gym, except for a few young people who were still doing push-ups, everyone else had finished. Manager Lu is back, come on, everyone help him count, but don't miss one. Xiao Chen looked at Lu Dekue with an ugly face and said playfully. Yes. The security guards also realized at this time that all the assessments were fake, and the new director was going to deal with Lu Yanluo. Lu Dekue took a deep breath and started to do push-ups. 1, 2, 3. Xiao Chen took the lead in counting, and the security guards quickly followed, counting one by one, and Lu Dekue almost got a stitch in his side. 199, 200. After all, as a Special Forces soldier, Lu Dekue had very good physical fitness. He did 200 in a row and was still able to hold on. However, when he did 240 or 250, he could not hold on any longer. The veins on his arms and forehead jumped, sweat dripped down, and his face flushed red. Every time he did one, it was as painful as if his anus had burst. 265, 266. Pinsu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Manager Lu, there are still more than 30 to go. Come on. I heard that you are a Special Forces soldier, right? Special Forces soldiers can't even do 30 push-ups? If it gets out, wouldn't it be embarrassing for our Chinese Special Forces soldiers? Xiao Chen sat next to him, drinking an ice drink and making sarcastic remarks. Hearing this, Lu Dekue almost lost his breath and lay on the ground. Damn it, I just did more than 260, okay? What do you mean I can't even do 30? Lu Dekue gritted his teeth, shivered, cursed Xiao Chen in his heart, and persisted one by one. Next to him, several confidants looked at Lu Dekue with sympathy, but secretly felt lucky in their hearts that they were not asked to do 300, otherwise they would have died. 300. When the security guards called out 300, Lu Dekue could no longer hold on and lay down directly, his whole body trembling, and he didn't want to move anymore. Haha, Manager Lu, congratulations on completing the first round of assessment. Xiao Chen stood up and pointed at several young people. In 5 minutes, you guys will practice with Manager Lu, just like you practiced with me yesterday, okay? If you win, Manager Lu will leave, if you lose, you will leave. Lu Dekue rolled his eyes and almost fainted. Just let him rest for 5 minutes? People with common sense know that when the body is extremely tired, once it relaxes, it will be difficult to concentrate again. Now, Xiao Chen only gave him 5 minutes to rest, and it was clear that he wanted to kick him out of the company. In addition to Lu Dekue wanting to curse, several young people who had just done 200 push-ups also cursed in their hearts. How can they fight this game? Go all out? They dare not. If they don't take it seriously, they will be fired. The babies are really bitter. Okay, 5 minutes are up, let's do it. Xiao Chen looked at the time and said with a smile. Lu Dekue struggled to stand up, supporting his shaking legs, and looked at Xiao Chen hatefully. This bastard was really cruel. It was obvious that he wanted him to sacrifice his pawns to save his chariot. Although he knew what Xiao Chen was thinking, he had no choice but to wink at a few confidants and let them sacrifice temporarily. If they sacrificed, the fight could continue. As long as Xiao Chen was sent to the hospital, Lu Dekue would still have the final say in the security department. He could just recruit people back then. But if he was fired, it might really be the end of him. Several confidants noticed Lu Dekui's eyes and understood what he meant. They nodded secretly, indicating that they would cooperate and just deal with it simply. Just when both sides were ready to take action and deal with it casually, Xiao Chen spoke up, "Remember, use as much force as you can. If you don't use all your strength, you will all be fired." Episode 14. Practical Assessment. Bang, bang, bang. The sound of fists hitting flesh rang out in the gym, mixed with a few screams from time to time. Lu Dagui forced himself to support his extremely exhausted body and threw punch after punch, trying to end this battle that made him so depressed that he vomited blood as soon as possible. Under Xiao Chen's surveillance, the young men did not dare to let up. Not to mention using their full strength, they still used 70% to 80% of their strength. The two sides fought back and forth, and the fight was very intense. Bang! Dagui was punched in the face, and he grimaced in pain. He punched the young man who hit him on the ground. 3 minutes later, the young men were all lying on the ground. Not to mention that their faces were bruised and swollen, but they were also in pain from every punch. As for Lu Dagui, he was not much better. He sat on the ground, gasping for breath, with a black bruise on his eye socket, looking very embarrassed. "Papa papa." Xiao Chen clapped his hands and said with a smile, as expected of a special forces officer, "He is really awesome. Manager Lu, congratulations on passing the assessment. Sorry, you are leaving the company. Go to the Human Resources Department to handle the resignation procedures later." Lu Dagui and others' faces changed slightly. This guy is really serious. "Okay, everyone else, practice in pairs, let me see your strength. Remember, we have no grudges, just stop when it's time." Xiao Chen ignored Lu Dagui and his group and turned to the remaining security guards. "Yes." Lu Dagui and others' faces turned green. Damn it, why didn't they let us stop when it was time? After the sparring, Xiao Chen had a preliminary understanding of the people in the security department and remembered everyone's name. This was his first step to officially take over the security department. After resting for a while, several of Lu Dekui's confidants dragged their tired bodies, left the gym, and went to the Human Resources Department to handle the formalities. To be honest, they didn't want to leave at all. The company's salary was very high, and the benefits were good. Usually, many people wanted to get in but couldn't, but now they were fired. "Don't worry, I will let you come back again." Before leaving, Lu Dekui gave them a guarantee. Before everyone returned to the security department, another group of security guards came. Through the understanding just now, Xiao Chen already knew who Lu Dekui's confidants were. Therefore, he didn't even bother to cover up, and bluntly pointed out Lu Dekui's confidants and asked them to accept the unusual assessment. Pinsu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Manager Lu, I heard that these guys are pretty good, how about you practice with them? Xiao Chen looked at Lu Dekui and said with a wicked smile. Lu Dekui shuddered in his heart. What's going on? He's still weak all over, and he's going to come again? Without waiting for Lu Dekui to say anything, Xiao Chen said in a deep voice, "It's still the same rule as before. Whoever loses will leave the company." Xiao Chen, you are deliberately targeting me. Lu Dekui finally couldn't help it and said angrily. Xiao Chen grinned and laughed, "That's right, what can you do to me? What do you want? There are more than 20 security guards in the company. Are you going to fire half of them now? I will go to General Manager Su for this matter." "Haha, I won't bother you. I'll call General Manager Su now and ask her if she can fire him." Xiao Chen finished speaking and called Su Qing. Lu Dekui didn't say anything. He didn't know whether he was tired or angry, which made him tremble all over. "Hello, Xiao Chen, what's the matter?" Su Qing's voice sounded. Xiao Chen pressed the hands-free key and said with a smile, "Boss Su, I fired half of the people in the security department. Is that okay?" "So many?" Su Qing was a little surprised. "Well, there is no construction without destruction, and only after destruction can construction be established. Okay, you can do whatever you want. I'm still busy, let's talk later." "Okay, I'll find you in the office after I finish dealing with things here." Xiao Chen said, hung up the phone, and shook the phone at Lu Dekui in a demonstrative way. "Manager Lu, did you hear that clearly?" Lu Dekui stared at Xiao Chen with an unwilling look on his face. If these people were fired again, then all his confidants in the security department would be gone. Okay, let's start now. Xiao Chen didn't bother to care about Lu Dekui's mood and said loudly. Lu Dekui's face changed several times, and he said in a deep voice, "Old Shin, you guys should resign on your own initiative." Xiao Chen was a little surprised. Lu Dekui had some brains. Xiao Chen, now that they have resigned, there is no need for assessment anymore, right? Lu Dekui gritted his teeth and said. Haha, of course not. Those who resign can go and handle the formalities. Xiao Chen waved his hand, and half of the people in the security department were fired. The remaining security guards were relieved, but they also secretly muttered that this new director seemed easy to talk to, but he was definitely a ruthless character. Don't fall into his hands in the future. Otherwise, you won't know how you died. After returning to the security department, Xiao Chen first called Ding Li into his office. After the two of them whispered for a long time, they called the remaining security guards to a meeting. At the meeting, Xiao Chen divided the remaining 10 security guards into two groups. The first group was led by Lu Dekui, and the second group was led by Ding Li. When Lu Dekui heard this, he was so angry that he almost jumped up from his chair. If he followed Xiao Chen's arrangement, then he, the security supervisor, would be in name only and at the same level as a small team leader. What he couldn't accept the most was that Ding Li, a coward and a loser, was going to be on an equal footing with him. Manager Lu, the security department is short of people now. You will manage a group first. After a few days of re-recruitment, your work will be rearranged. Xiao Chen looked at Lu Dekui with an ugly face and said with a smile. Dekui gritted his teeth, suppressed his anger, and said nothing. After the meeting, Xiao Chen left the security department. He had to go to Suqing to discuss the re-recruitment. After Xiao Chen left, Lu Dekui returned to his office and called Ren Kuan again. Old Lu, what's the matter? Mr. Ren, Xiao Chen is in the company now, please bring the experts here quickly. Hearing Ren Kuan's voice, Lu Dekui was so excited that he almost cried. Old Lu, the two experts went to the neighboring province with my dad to do business. It will take 2 or 3 days for them to come back. What? 2 or 3 days? Lu Dekui was anxious. Let alone 2 or 3 days, he couldn't even wait 2 or 3 hours now. Well, I'll take them there when they come back. Anyway, Xiao Chen is Suqing's bodyguard, so he can't run away, so there's no rush in the next 2 or 3 days. But. Okay, Lao Lu, let's not talk about it for now. I just picked up a young model, and now I have to do business. Ron Kuan said, and hung up the phone. Hello? Hello? Damn, you only know how to play with women, you bastard can't be trusted. Lu Dekui was so angry that he cursed. Ren Kuan could wait, but he couldn't. First, he couldn't swallow this bad breath, and second, he had a sense of crisis. Boy, do you really think I'm easy to bully? I'll find someone to deal with you now. And Suqing, you don't want me to be the director, right? Then I'll let you know that no one can handle the security department except me, Lu Dekui. Lu Dekui's expression became ferocious, picked up the phone, and dialed another number. In the president's office, Xiao Chen talked to Suqing about the security department. After listening to Xiao Chen's words, Suqing thought about it and asked, what are you going to do next? Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Rehire security guards. That's no problem. I can ask the Human Resources Department to cooperate with you. Suqing nodded. What is Lu Dekui's reaction now? Haha, President Su, since you have made up your mind to rectify the security department, why bother about Lu Dekui's reaction? Even if he wants to kill someone, it depends on whether his knife is fast enough. I heard that Lu Dekui has a relationship with people in the underworld. In the underworld? Haha. Xiao Chen sneered. There are countless killers and mercenaries who died in his hands. Are you still afraid? As the two were talking, there was a knock on the door and Qin Lan came in from outside. She first glanced at Xiao Chen, then looked at Suqing. President Su, the people from the Flying Eagle Gang are here to collect protection fees. Suqing's face changed slightly, and they came as expected. What does the Flying Eagle Gang do? Xiao Chen asked curiously. The Flying Eagle Gang is a gang in the southern district. Although it is not the strongest, it is not weak. Even in the entire Longhai, it is a second-rate force. Qianlong explained. Xiao Chen raised his eyebrows and understood. Lu Dagui's backer? Yes, you can say that. Then what's the matter with them collecting protection fees? This area is the territory of the Flying Eagle Gang. Except for a few powerful large companies, everyone who sets up a stall, opens a store, or runs a company must pay protection fees. Hearing this, Xiao Chen's expression became strange. Are all the people in Longhai City so arrogant? However, he couldn't help laughing when he thought about how he often took people to collect protection fees from some countries. When it comes to collecting protection fees, he is a master. Haha, that's interesting. Since you are here, I will go to meet them. Xiao Chen said, and stood up. Don't make too much noise, pay attention to the impact. Su Qing warned. Well, I like to convince people with reason the most. Xiao Chen smiled and turned to leave the office. Episode 15. Get out now. At the company gate, in the security room. 7 or 8 thugs with tattoos sat on the table, cursing loudly. Some even used iron bars and machetes to hit the table, making a harsh sound. Damn it, I've been here for so long, why hasn't the person in charge come out yet? A bald man with a cobra tattoo on his arm pointed at Ding Li with a machete and shouted. Ding Li's face turned pale, and his calves were trembling slightly. Brother, please wait a moment, our leader will be here soon. Fuck, I've been waiting for more than 10 minutes. Where is your manager Lu? Manager Lu. Manager Lu is resting in the security department. Although he knew that these people might be called by Lu Decue, Ding Li didn't dare to say anything more. This machete was not fake. If he was hit by a knife, it would be the end. Damn it, who is in charge now? The bald man cursed. Call Manager Lu immediately and tell him that I, the big snake, am here. Ding Li nodded hurriedly and asked his colleague next to him to call Lu Decue. At the same time, he was secretly anxious. They must be coming for Brother Chen. What should I do? Just when he wanted to call Xiao Chen to remind him to leave the company through the back door, Xiao Chen came in from outside. Brother Chen, you're here. Ding Li hurriedly went over and whispered, they should be the people Lu Decue called here. Brother Chen, you'd better hide first. Boy, what the hell are you mumbling about? The bald man slammed the table with a machete and cursed with a glare. Nothing, I just wanted him to see why Director Lu hasn't come yet. Ding Li put on a smile and winked at Xiao Chen, signaling him to leave quickly. Xiao Chen felt a little warm in his heart, patted Ding Li's shoulder, and looked at the gangsters. I'm the director of the security department, what can I do for you? Director? Boy, why haven't I seen you before? The bald man jumped down from the table, with a fierce light in his eyes. The other gangsters also looked at Xiao Chen with ferocious expressions and smiled coldly. Xiao Chen noticed their reactions and was more certain that it was Lu Decue who called them here. Haha, I've only been in the company for a few days. Hey, you've only been in the company for a few days, and you've already become a department director, you're pretty capable, right? Tell me, how did you get to this position? You didn't get to this position by relying on gigolos, did you? The bald man came to Xiao Chen and said mockingly. Do you think I'm shameless? Xiao Chen said indifferently. Fuck, I'm not here to discuss whether you're shameless or not, it's time to pay the protection fee this month. How much is the protection fee? 50,000. The bald man stretched out his hand. What? 50,000? Wasn't it always 30,000 before? Ding Li, who was standing next to him, couldn't help but interrupt. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Bang. The bald man slapped Ding Li on the face and said in a fierce voice, that was the price before. Now the price of goods has risen. The price of food, clothing and daily necessities has not increased. Of course, the protection fee has to increase. Ding Li covered his face and instinctively took a few steps back, with fear flashing in his eyes. With the loud slap, Xiao Chen's face sank. He looked at the bald man and his voice became cold, you will regret this slap. Regret? I never do things that I regret. The bald man glared at Xiao Chen, and the other gangsters also surrounded him, ready to fight. Bang. At this moment, Lu Decue came in from outside, looked at the bald man, and deliberately said, Old Snake, why didn't you say hello in advance when you came to the company? Old Lu, I'm here to collect this month's protection fee. The bald man retracted his gaze from Xiao Chen and cooperated with him. Oh, it's indeed the day, but now I don't have the final say in the security department. If there is anything, you have to talk to Minister Xiao. Lu Dogui pointed at Xiao Chen and said. Okay, then I'll talk to him. The bald man nodded. If it were you, old Lu, I would be embarrassed to raise the protection fee. Now, haha, 50,000, not a penny less. Otherwise, I will make your company unable to continue. Lu Dogui smiled. This was what he agreed with the bald man on the phone. He wanted to teach Xiao Chen a lesson and show his importance, so that Su Qing would know that the company could not do without him. Ding Li, do you still remember which hand he hit you with just now? Xiao Chen was too lazy to pay attention to Lu Dogui and the bald man's double act, but looked at the red slap mark on Ding Li's face and asked in a flat tone. I remember. Ding Li nodded weakly. Does your face hurt? It hurts. If it's a guy with a gun, then do something with a gun. Do you know how to do it? I'll fight back? Ding Li was so scared that his legs were shaking, but he still said with courage. What's the point of fighting back? Xiao Chen's voice suddenly turned cold and became a little grim. Which hand did he hit with, then cripple that hand? Ding Li was so scared that he almost sat on the ground, and the bald man and others were furious. Kid, what the hell did you say? Damn it, do you believe it? I'll kill you? The gangsters all raised their machetes and iron bars. As long as the bald man said a word, they would chop this arrogant kid to the ground. Lu Dogui sneered a few times. As expected, as he imagined, Xiao Chen would continue to be arrogant. As long as they had a conflict, Xiao Chen would fall into endless trouble. Although the bald man and his companions are no match for Xiao Chen, they have the Flying Eagle gang behind them. No matter how powerful Xiao Chen is, he is only one person. How can he be a match for a gang? Sooner or later, he will die under the knife of the Flying Eagle gang. Ha ha ha, kid, what did you say? Are you going to break my hand? The bald man laughed angrily and shook his right hand in front of Xiao Chen. It was this hand that hit me. Come on, try to move me. Okay, let's try. As soon as Xiao Chen finished speaking, his right hand stretched out like lightning and pinched the bald man's wrist. You want? The bald man's face changed drastically. Just as he said two words, he heard a crisp click sound, and then a burst of pain occurred. The rest of his words turned into miserable screams. Ah! His right wrist was broken by Xiao Chen. Son of a bitch, chop him. Kill him. Seeing that their big brother was at a disadvantage, the gangsters roared and rushed towards Xiao Chen with their weapons. Bang! Xiao Chen kicked the bald man away with one foot, and then punched the first gangster who rushed up and sent him flying, and at the same time snatched the iron rod from his hand. Bang, bang, bang! Xiao Chen took the iron rod and beat the gangsters hard, and screams continued to ring. Next to him, Lu Digui's eyes flashed with excitement and ruthlessness. Fight, fight, Xiao Chen, the Flying Eagle gang will not let you go. In just 1 minute, the battle was over. The gangsters covered their wounds and looked at Xiao Chen with fear. No one dared to rush up again. Xiao Chen carried the iron rod, glanced at the gangsters coldly, and then walked towards the bald man who was covering his wrist. What are you going to do? I'm from the Flying Eagle gang. The bald man shouted in a timid manner. Bang! Xiao Chen hit the bald man with an iron rod. Don't use the Flying Eagle gang to pressure me. I don't know any Flying Eagle gang. Ah! The bald man screamed again. He regretted rushing over after receiving Lu Dagui's call. I told you just now that you will regret hitting my brother. Xiao Chen said, and glanced at Ding Li. In fact, he wanted Ding Li to take revenge himself, but seeing that he was trembling all over, he decided to forget it. It takes time to build up courage. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Ding Li's eyes were red, and he sniffed hard, trying not to cry. 30,000 yuan for protection? Fuck, I only make 20,000 yuan a month, and you want 30,000 yuan for just one visit, why? Are you so shameless? Xiao Chen said, and hit the bald man with a stick again. Ah. This is protection money, our Flying Eagle gang will protect. Bullshit, does the company need your protection? Xiao Chen cursed, "If you dare to come to collect protection money again, I will break your legs." The bald man dared not speak, but he was ruthless in his heart. "Bastard, wait for our Flying Eagle gang's revenge. Tell me, who asked you to come?" Xiao Chen raised the iron rod and asked coldly. Lu Dagui's heart jumped. "It's bad." The bald man glanced at Lu Dagui and shook his head. "No one asked me to come. I am here to collect protection money today." "Really? I will count to 3. If you don't tell the truth, I will break your left hand." The bald man's face changed drastically, and he looked at Lu Dagui again. 1, 2. Lu Dagui called me to come. Without waiting for Xiao Chen to count to 3, the bald man said loudly. There was no way. He was scared, and he also saw that this kid was definitely a ruthless character who would do what he said. If he continued to resist, his left hand would really be in danger. Bullshit, Lu Dagui is the director of the company's security department. How could he ask you to collect protection money? Are you kidding me? Xiao Chen deliberately said angrily. I am not kidding you. It was really Lu Dagui who asked me to come. He said that I should bring people to teach you a lesson and ask for more protection money. Then he would show up to show that he is very important. The bald man did not dare to hide it and said it all. Lu Dagui's face changed. It was over. Xiao Chen's lips curled up slightly, and he turned his head to look at Lu Dagui. Manager Lu, I really didn't expect that you would do something that would harm the interests of the company. No, I didn't. I asked him to come because I wanted to deal with you. Lu Dagui blurted out. Deal with me? Ha, I will report this matter to General Manager Su. You pack up your things and get ready to leave. Xiao Chen said bluntly. Lu Dagui's face changed again, and he said angrily, Boy, I am the head of the security department. No one can fire me except General Manager Su. Get out or not? Xiao Chen was too lazy to say more, raised the iron rod, and pointed it directly at Lu Dagui. Lu Dagui looked at Xiao Chen's posture of taking action, and then thought of his terrifying skills, and felt afraid. Okay, I'll leave, but I will definitely make you regret it, and the Flying Eagle gang will not let you go. Haha, I'm waiting for your revenge. Xiao Chen's voice turned cold. Now, get out. Episode 16. Childish Face. Lu Dagui and the people from the Flying Eagle gang left in a panic. Xiao Chen stood at the entrance of the company, watching the van going away, with a sneer on his face. Brother Chen, will the Flying Eagle gang retaliate? Ding Li asked anxiously beside him. Haha, what do you think? I think so. The Flying Eagle gang is a big gang in the southern district. They will definitely retaliate after suffering such a big loss today. Ding Li thought for a while and said. Xiao Chen nodded and patted Ding Li on the shoulder. Don't worry, the Flying Eagle gang can't make any waves. Oh. Ding Li nodded hurriedly, even though he was scared to death. Xiao Chen returned to the security room and found that almost all the security guards looked at him with awe, which made him smile bitterly. Didn't he just beat up a few hooligans and then drove away Lu Dagui, the black sheep? Is it really necessary? Okay, the matter has been dealt with, and everyone should go about their business. Those on duty should work hard, and those who are on rest should also take a rest. These days, everyone will work harder. In 3 days, the security department will recruit another batch of people. Xiao Chen said a few simple words, which could be regarded as comforting these security guards, so that they would not be worried and insecure. Yes. The security guards agreed in unison. Although the new director has only been in office for a few hours, no one dares to disobey him now, and no one dares to oppose him. Didn't you see it? Those who opposed him have already been kicked out of the company. Even Lu Yanluo is not his opponent, let alone them. After Xiao Chen said a few more words, he left the security room and returned to the security department's office. Now, the security department can be regarded as a lot of work to be done, and as the head of the security department, he has to make some plans or something. The most important thing is that he has an idea in his mind, a bold and crazy idea. The security department is a sharp knife to ensure the safety of the company. He now wants this knife to not only ensure the safety of the company, but also the safety of Su Qing. In the final analysis, after he helps Su Qing solve the trouble, he will leave Long Hai. So, he has to do something more for Su Qing, and now this is an opportunity. Didn't even Su Qing say that she was very curious about what the company's security department would eventually become under the leadership of him, the king of special forces? As the sole instructor of a former top special forces team in China, Xiao Chen is confident that he can lead an iron-blooded team. Even if it can't compare with the top special forces, it will not be worse than ordinary special forces. Think about it, when Su Qing has a security force comparable to the special forces, will she have to worry about any threatening letters in the future? Whoever is dissatisfied, just push it horizontally. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Anyway, I'm free anyway. So let's do it. Old Su, I'm worried about your sister. Xiao Chen became more and more excited as he thought about it. He lit a cigarette and grinned. Just when Xiao Chen was fantasizing about how to organize a special security team, Ding Li came in from outside. Brother Chen, Director Gao is here. Director Gao? Who is that? Xiao Chen collected his thoughts, a little confused. Gao Ping, another director of the security department. After Ding Li's reminder, Xiao Chen immediately remembered that before he came, there were 2 security directors in the security department, of which Lu Dagui was in charge of the company, and Gao Ping was in charge of the factory. Usually, Gao Ping was always in the factory and rarely returned to the company, but why did he return to the company at this time? After a few thoughts, Xiao Chen was too lazy to think about it, and nodded, let him in. Brother Chen, Director Gao suddenly came back, is he trying to seize power or something? Ding Li hesitated, and said worriedly. Xiao Chen looked at Ding Li and laughed, seize power? Haha, I have kicked Lu Dikue out of the company. As long as Gao Ping is not a fool, he knows what to do. If he is really a fool, then I will kick him out too. Ding Li was relieved to see Xiao Chen said it so easily, then I'll let him in. Okay. Soon, Ding Li came in with a man, Manager Gao, this is Minister Xiao. Yao Ping looked at Xiao Chen, a flash of surprise on his face, so young? However, he immediately suppressed his surprise and greeted with a smile, hello, Director Xiao, I'm Yao Ping. Haha, Director Gao, hello. Xiao Chen stood up and shook hands with Yao Ping, please sit down. Yao Ping nodded and sat on the chair opposite Xiao Chen. Director Xiao, I just heard about the changes in the security department, so I came back to the company to report. Haha, actually there is not much change. Xiao Chen smiled, Ding Li, go make a cup of tea for Director Gao. Okay. Xiao Chen looked at Ding Li's back and raised his eyebrows. After all, I am a middle-level leader. Do I need a secretary? Usually serving tea and water, rubbing backs and shoulders. Well, I have to discuss this with Su Qing. Director Xiao, I heard that the company is short of manpower now. Otherwise, we can transfer some people from the factory first? Gao Ping did not mention Lu Dagui's matter. Some things are not meant to be said after seeing through them. Haha, no need. I have already discussed it with General Manager Su. We will recruit again in 3 days. China has a lot of people, not to mention 10 or 8 security guards. Even 10 or 8 high-level elites can be easily recruited. What do you think, Director Gao? Xiao Chen said with a smile. Yao Ping's eyelids jumped. Xiao Chen said this to him. Well, Minister Xiao is right. It seems that I worry too much. Director Gao, how many people are there in the factory now? Xiao Chen thought for a while and asked. Including me, there are a total of 36 people, divided into 4 groups. In addition to the factory, we are also responsible for the warehouse and other places. Xiao Chen nodded. Compared with the company, the factory and warehouse do need more manpower. Well, after the company has finished recruiting, you bring your people here. Then the security department will hold a meeting and redistribute them. Okay. Then 10 minutes later, Qinlan called and asked him to come to her office, and Gao Ping took the opportunity to leave. Arriving at the assistant's office, Xiao Chen knocked on the door and walked in. Sister Lan, you're looking for me? Oh, it seems that you really don't take the Flying Eagle Gang seriously? I didn't take the initiative to find you, and you didn't plan to come and talk to me? Qinlan said with a chuckle. Xiao Chen shrugged and sat opposite Qinlan. I really don't take it seriously. It's just a club. Haha, confident men are the most attractive. You are worthy of being the king of special forces. I like you. Qinlan smiled charmingly, got up and made a cup of tea for Xiao Chen. I heard that you crippled the people from the Flying Eagle gang? Well, those hooligans won't learn their lesson unless they suffer a little. Xiao Chen said, took a sip of tea, and praised, not bad, top quality Mingqian Longjing. If you like, bring some with you later. Then I thank Sister Lan first. Xiao Chen put down the teacup and changed to a more comfortable sitting position. Sister Lan is still good to me. Okay, stop talking nonsense. Are you sure you can handle the subsequent troubles of the Flying Eagle gang? Xiao Chen smiled. Don't worry, I will handle this matter. Okay. Qin Lan nodded. I went to the Human Resources Department just now, and I personally selected a person for you. She is a beauty. Really? Xiao Chen's eyes lit up, but then he returned to his calmness. What beauty or no beauty? No matter how beautiful she is, can she be as beautiful as Sister Lan? Qin Lan heard this and laughed. You kid only know how to say nice things to coax me. As the two were talking, there was a knock on the door. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Come in. The door opened, and a beautiful figure came in from outside. She was wearing a standard OL outfit, with delicate features and fair skin. What attracted Xiao Chen the most was that this girl had a baby face, which is the so-called childlike face. As his eyes moved down, he almost drooled. Damn, this chest is definitely worthy of this baby face, a childlike face with huge breasts. Hello, Assistant Qin. After the baby-faced beauty came in, she greeted Qin Lan respectfully. Haha, you're here. Qin Lan glanced at Xiao Chen, smiled secretly in her heart, and introduced, let me introduce you, this is Director Xiao of the Security Department, Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen, she is the beauty of the Human Resources Department I mentioned just now, childlike face. What? Childlike face? Xiao Chen's eyes widened, and his gaze subconsciously fell on Tong Yan's chest. Damn, this name is really unique, absolutely worthy of the name. Tong Yan noticed Xiao Chen's undisguised gaze, and her pretty face blushed, but she still stretched out her fair right hand. Minister Xiao, hello, I am Tong Yan, please take care of me. Ah, hello, haha, I will definitely take care of you. Xiao Chen reacted and hurriedly held Tong Yan's little hand. His heart couldn't help but be shaken, so soft. Okay, Minister Xiao, don't scare the little girl. Qin Lan couldn't bear it anymore, and said with a smile. Ahem. Xiao Chen's old face blushed, and he covered up, I just think she looks like my kindergarten classmate. Qin Lan was speechless and curled her lips. Isn't this excuse too lame and old-fashioned? Kindergarten classmate? Did you play eagle and chicken with her? Tong Yan's eyes were also a little weird, her pretty face was red, and she was indescribably beautiful and moving. Tong Yan, you will cooperate with Minister Xiao to complete the recruitment of the security department. This is also your first assessment since you came to the company. If you do well, you can end your internship early. Qin Lan said to Tong Yan. Please rest assured, Assistant Qin, I will definitely cooperate with Minister Xiao. Tong Yan nodded hurriedly. Yes. Qin Lan nodded. Xiao Chen, I hand the person over to you, don't bully the little girl. Xiao Chen rolled his eyes, what does it mean? Isn't it obvious that you don't trust my character? Am I the one who bullies little girls? Episode 17. It's all a lie. After staying in Qin Lan's office for a while, Xiao Chen couldn't sit still. He looked at his watch and stood up. Tong Yan, Sister Lan is very busy. Let's not disturb her. How about we go to my office to talk? Tong Yan was stunned, but didn't think much about it. She nodded and said, okay. Qin Lan looked at Xiao Chen with a playful look. Would this guy really intend to attack the girl? Xiao Chen noticed Qin Lan's gaze and felt weak in his heart. He covered it up and said, hey, Sister Lan, I'll come over to help you deal with the documents after I finish talking to Tong Yan. You are a kind-hearted boy. Okay, you two can go and talk first. Qin Lan rolled her eyes at Xiao Chen and didn't point out his intention to please him. Chen grinned and took Tong Yan out of the assistant's office. Tong Yan, aren't you a formal employee of the company yet? Xiao Chen asked on the way back to the security department. Well, I just graduated from college and joined the company half a month ago. If I follow the normal procedure, I have to work for 2 months to become a formal employee. Now, as long as I cooperate with Minister Xiao, it won't take long for me to become a regular employee. Tong Yen was a little excited when she mentioned this. After all, it is a happy thing to be able to become a regular employee in advance. Xiao Chen glanced at Tong Yan's chest and said with a sly smile, "Yes, cooperate with me well, and you will be a regular employee." "Please rest assured, Minister Xiao, I will." Tong Yen couldn't hear anything else, and nodded hurriedly. It can be seen that she cherishes this opportunity to become a regular employee. While the two were talking, they came to the security department. The security guards who were resting saw Xiao Chen leading a girl in, and their eyes were straightened all of a sudden. Damn, she is so exquisite. Even Ding Li secretly swallowed his saliva, and his admiration for Xiao Chen in his heart became even stronger. He is worthy of being the boss. In such a short time, he has picked up such an exquisite girl. Ding Li, make a cup of tea and come in. Xiao Chen called out to Ding Li, but his eyes were fixed on Tong Yen, muttering to himself, "If I could get this girl to work as my secretary in the security department, that would be really cool." Tong Yen smiled, nodded politely to everyone, and then followed Xiao Chen into the office. "Tong Yen, sit down, you don't have to be so reserved here." Xiao Chen smiled. He could feel that Tong Yen was a little reserved in front of Qinlan, so he proposed to leave. "Okay." Tong Yen sat on the sofa. "Minister Xiao, let's continue to talk about recruitment." "Hee, there's actually nothing to talk about. It's just recruiting some security guards, not recruiting some high-level elites. Don't you need to make a plan in advance? For example, hard standards." Xiao Chen shook his head. "No, there are many kinds of talents. We must believe that I was born with talents and must be useful. Maybe we are doing nothing now, but it may just be because we are not in an appropriate position or industry. Many examples have proved that everyone has their own advantages and strengths, but we haven't discovered them yet." Pinsu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Tong Yen was stunned, pursed her lips, and didn't know how to respond. There was a knock on the door, and Ding Li came in from outside with tea. "Brother Chen, sister-in-law, have some tea." Xiao Chen was speechless. What the hell is this guy yelling? As for Tong Yen, her pretty face was flushed, full of shyness. "Brother Chen? Sister-in-law? Boy, don't talk nonsense. This is a colleague from the HR department, Tong Yen." Xiao Chen looked at Tong Yan's pretty red face, was stunned, and then stared at Ding Li and said, "Ah." Ding Li looked embarrassed. "Miss Tong, I'm sorry, I thought." "No, nothing." Tong Yen shook her head gently, her voice was not loud. "Hey, Brother Chen, Miss Tong, you guys chat, I'm going out first." Ding Li said, and walked out of the office quickly. But when he closed the office door, his movements suddenly froze. What did Brother Chen say this girl was called just now? Tong? Tong Yen? Damn. What a good name, it matches her perfectly. The atmosphere in the office was a little unusual when Ding Li called her sister-in-law. Although Xiao Chen didn't think it was a big deal, looking at Tong Yan's red face, it was a little unusual and a little funny. This girl is really cute. Men like to conquer strong women because they will feel the pleasure of conquering. But there is another kind of woman who will make men feel cared for from the bottom of their hearts and want to take good care of her. Tong Yen happened to be the latter, so even though they had just met not long ago, Xiao Chen could not help but have the urge to protect her, just like facing his own little sister. "Hey, Tong Yen, try this tea. I left in a hurry just now, and I forgot to take the top-quality Mingqian Longjing tea that Sister Lan said she would give me." Xiao Chen picked up the teacup and took a sip, which was also a diversion to avoid embarrassing Tong Yen. "Yeah. Tong Yen, you don't have to worry too much about recruitment, just ask the Human Resources Department to prepare the meeting room. We'll talk about the rest later." "Okay." Talking about work, Tong Yen recovered a little, and she carefully wrote down what Xiao Chen said to avoid any mistakes. "Don't be so serious, don't worry, you will definitely be converted to a regular employee." "Thank you, Minister Xiao." Xiao Chen smiled and said, "I'm a newcomer too. I just came to the company yesterday and I don't know as much about the company as you do." Minister Xiao is amazing. He became the minister right after he came to the company. Tong Yen said with some admiration. "It's nothing amazing. I became the minister by accident." Xiao Chen shook his head. "By the way, is there any difference between an intern and a regular employee of the company?" You seem to be eager to become a regular employee. In the workplace, the internship period is not only a company's assessment of employees, but also an employee's experience of the company. Many interns find that their current position or company is not suitable for them after working for a while, so they can leave. Therefore, Xiao Chen was a little puzzled as to why Tong Yan was so eager to become a regular employee. It seemed that there was no big difference except that the salary was lower and there was no formal contract. Tong Yan hesitated for a moment, but still said frankly, because for the same position, the salary of a formal employee is 3 times that of an intern. Xiao Chen was a little surprised by Tong Yan's answer, but he didn't say much and nodded. Well, in 3 days, you can become a formal employee. I will work hard. Tong Yan sat up straight, leaned forward slightly, and said seriously. Okay. Xiao Chen hadn't finished speaking when his eyes suddenly became straight. Damn, dare not be so tempting? Minister Xiao, I will write the recruitment copy for you to review as soon as possible. Okay. Are there any requirements? No. Then. Minister Xiao, what's wrong with you? Tong Yan noticed Xiao Chen's expression and asked in confusion. Ah. Nothing, ahem, go on. Xiao Chen woke up in shock, retracted his gaze, and said to cover up. Tong Yan was surprised, but didn't think much about it, and continued to say what she thought. Xiao Chen, who had never taken this job fair seriously before, now became extremely serious and nodded his head from time to show his agreement. But if you look closely, you will find that his eyes are constantly glancing at Tong Yan's chest. Whenever Tong Yan's eyes meet his, he will quickly look away and pretend to listen carefully. Seeing that Xiao Chen listened so seriously, Tong Yan was also very encouraged and spoke with high spirits. But soon she realized that something was wrong. Why did Minister Xiao always look at her chest? At the beginning, she didn't care much, because of her name and because of her baby face, many people would glance at her chest. So, over time, she got used to it. But no matter how used to it, women are still very sensitive to this kind of gaze. Moreover, she can feel that Xiao Chen's gaze is fiery, as if there is nothing to hide. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Tong Yan subconsciously looked down and screamed. One of the buttons of her white shirt had opened at some point, and something was vaguely visible inside. Ahem. Xiao Chen's old face turned red. Well, he was discovered. However, as a veteran in the flower field, he quickly recovered and said as easily as possible, well, Tong Yan, I wanted to remind you just now that your button was unbuttoned. But seeing that you were so devoted to what you said, I couldn't bear to interrupt you, so. Tong Yan hurriedly buttoned up her button, her pretty face flushed, and she wished she could find a crack in the ground to crawl into or run away. Hey, Tong Yan, what you said just now was really good. Where were you talking about? Let's continue. Xiao Chen moved his eyes away from Tong Yan's chest, feeling a little disappointed. How could she find out so quickly? Alas. Minister Xiao, I think I've said almost everything. If you have no objection, I'll go back and write. Tong Yan's heart beat faster when she thought of some unspoken rules in the workplace. Is Minister Xiao also that kind of person? Let's leave quickly. When Xiao Chen saw Tong Yan's expression, he was really scared. Alas, who said that girls in China have become very open now? What about shaking and rolling in the sheets? It's all a lie. Well, then you go and write it first. If you have any questions, you can come to me at any time. Okay, goodbye, Minister Xiao. Tong Yan nodded hurriedly, stood up and left in a hurry. Xiao Chen looked at Tong Yan's back and shook his head helplessly. It's over. I guess this girl will be on guard against me like a thief. After a while of being in a daze, Xiao Chen began to reconsider the matter of the special security team. He was hesitating whether he should find a relationship and get a group of retired veterans from the army. In this way, they can be put into use directly without much training. However, after thinking for a long time, he still gave up the idea. Forget it, let's take a look at the recruitment in 3 days. A ring rang, interrupting Xiao Chen's thoughts. He pressed the answer button. Hello, Xiao Dao. Brother Chen, the cemetery has been bought, and the funeral home has been contacted. The burial will be next Wednesday, is that okay? Xiao Chen took the calendar on the table, took a look, and pointed his finger on it. Okay, then Wednesday. Well, that's settled. Okay. Episode 18. Friends? At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Xiao Chen came to the president's office. Boss Su, what do you want to talk to me about? Xiao Chen, I have to go to the laboratory later, you go pick up Xiao Meng first. Su Qing was busy writing something, and when she heard Xiao Chen's voice, she looked up and said, "Oh, what about you? When I'm done, I'll ask another driver to take me back." Xiao Chen looked at Su Qing's slightly tired face, and a little pity surged in his heart. "Anyway, I don't have anything to do, I'll pick you up later." "No, I'm a little worried about leaving Xiao Meng alone at home." Xiao Chen was stunned, and then he suddenly realized that it seemed that the threatening letter and the bug had made this woman feel insecure. Compared with her own safety, she was more worried about her sister's safety. "Su Qing, don't worry. I will solve the threatening letter and the bug as soon as possible. As for Xiao Meng's safety, I think the other party is coming for you, so there is no need to worry about her." "Well, I hope so." Su Qing nodded slowly. "Okay, go pick her up after work, and I'll call you when I'm done." "Okay." Xiao Chen agreed and hesitated. "Su Qing, don't be too tired. Doesn't the company have scientific researchers? You don't have to go to the front line in person, right? There is a formula for cosmeceuticals that I need to monitor in person. This formula may be related to the company's development strategy in the next few years." Xiao Chen nodded and said nothing more. After all, she knew more about the company's affairs than he did. After staying in the office for a while, Xiao Chen left. He wanted to go to Qin Lan's office, but when he saw that the door was locked, he gave up and returned to the security department. "Brother Chen, I asked the colleagues on duty last night one by one, and they didn't find anything unusual." As soon as he returned to the office, Ding Li came in from outside. "Didn't you find anything?" Xiao Chen frowned. The surveillance camera didn't capture it, and the security guard didn't notice it. It seems that this matter is really a bit tricky. "No." "Okay, I know, you go and get busy first." Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. "Oh, then I'll go on duty." "Well, work hard and take the lead. I won't treat you badly." "I know." Ding Li nodded vigorously and turned to go out. Xiao Chen took out a cigarette, lit it, took a deep breath, and his brain was turning quickly. Was the eavesdropping device and the threatening letter made by the same person? What is the purpose? Ordinary business competition? But the eavesdropping device is a product of the island country's military, and ordinary people can't get it at all. After smoking a cigarette, Xiao Chen didn't think of Ziwu Maoqiu. He squinted his eyes. Could he really only wait passively? At 5 o'clock, Xiao Chen drove out of the company. When he was about to speed up when he got out of the door, he suddenly noticed a beautiful figure at the bus stop not far away. Xiao Chen's mouth curled up slightly, stepped on the brake lightly, and lowered the window. "Tongyan, it's time to get off work." Tongyan was looking down at her phone. When she heard the voice, she raised her head suddenly. Seeing that it was Xiao Chen, she nodded and said, "Hello, Minister Xiao. Are you waiting for the bus to go home?" "Yes, yes." Xiao Qing glanced at the two wretched young men behind Tongyan, and his heart moved. He smiled and said, "Haha, shall I take you home?" "Don't bother Minister Xiao, I'll just wait for the bus." Tongyan smiled and refused. Xiao Chen was helpless. The vigilance in this girl's eyes was really sad. It's hard to be a good person. "I don't know when the bus will come." "Get on the bus." "Why are you being polite to me?" "Minister Xiao, don't worry. We are not going the same way." Tongyan still declined. "Haha, I have some new ideas about the job fair. Let's talk about it again." Xiao Chen did not give up because of Tongyan's refusal, because he found that the two wretched young men were winking at each other. Looking at Tongyan's eyes, they were full of naked desires. Obviously, they didn't have any good ideas. Tongyan obviously hesitated when she heard this. "Minister Xiao, can't we talk about it tomorrow? The recruitment will be in 3 days, so it's better to finalize it as soon as possible. The company takes this recruitment very seriously." "Okay then." Tongyan thought of Qin Lan's words, pursed her red lips, and finally agreed, opened the car door and sat in the passenger seat. Xiao Chen smiled, glanced at the two wretched young men whose faces had obviously turned ugly, stepped on the accelerator, and the Maserati sped away. Tongyan, where do you live? Over there on Bainan Road. Oh, I don't know the way, please show me the way. Yeah. Tongyan nodded. Minister Xiao, do you have any new ideas? Ah. Xiao Chen was stunned. He just said it casually to get Tongyan in the car, and he didn't have any new ideas at all. So, when he was asked now, he didn't know how to answer for a while. Seeing Xiao Chen like this, Tongyan became more alert. Could it be that he really had some intentions towards her? Just when Tongyan was full of vigilance and uneasiness, Xiao Chen finally spoke. When writing the recruitment copy, remember to add one more sentence, preferably veterans, and be admitted with priority. Yeah. Tongyan pretended to listen, but she waited for a long time and Xiao Chen didn't say anything else, so she couldn't help asking, just this one? Yes, I think this sentence is very important. Veterans have excellent qualities. Okay, I know. Tongyan nodded, turned left ahead. About 20 minutes later, under the command of Tongyan, the Maserati drove into a shantytown. What caught the eye were houses of different heights and a messy environment. Xiao Chen looked around and was a little surprised that there would be such a dirty and messy shantytown in Longhai City, and even more surprised that Tongyan actually lived here. Minister Xiao, the road conditions here are not good. Why don't you leave me here and I can walk in by myself? Tongyan noticed the surprise on Xiao Chen's face and said in a low voice. Ah. No need, I'll take you home. Xiao Chen shook his head and asked, do you rent a house here, or is your home here? I'm a local in Longhai, and my home is here. Oh. Xiao Chen nodded and couldn't help but sighed. I never thought that Longhai, as an international metropolis, actually has shantytowns. Tongyan heard this, and a bit of helplessness was written on her pretty face. This shantytown has existed for a long time. As far as I know, there are at least 5 shantytowns of this scale in Longhai. Several leaders, including the current leader, have wanted to demolish the shantytowns, but in the end they all gave up the idea. Haha, the transformation of shantytowns has always been a difficult problem. Xiao Chen smiled and didn't continue to discuss this issue. There was no point. The car drove a distance inside, turned left and right, and finally stopped at the door of a dilapidated 2-story building. It is said to be a 2-story building, but in fact it is just a bungalow with another floor added on top. The second floor is completely uninhabitable and is purely used to get more demolition compensation. This phenomenon is very common in shantytowns. In order to get more money, almost every family will add floors or expand outwards. Pinsu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Is this your home? Xiao Chen looked around. He now understood why Tongyan valued the salary of a formal employee several times. This family was not rich. Yeah. Tongyan nodded. Minister Xiao, thank you for sending me back. Haha, why are you being polite? We are colleagues, and we are also friends, right? Xiao Chen smiled. He never mentioned the 2 wretched young men at the bus stop. Some things have been done and there is no need to say more. Yeah. Tongyan also smiled and asked politely, come in and sit down? Xiao Chen looked at his watch and saw that there was still plenty of time, so he nodded, okay. Tongyan was a little dumbfounded. She asked out of politeness, but she didn't expect Xiao Chen to really agree. There was no way, she couldn't say anything else, so she could only get off the car and take Xiao Chen to the yard. As soon as she entered the yard, she heard the voice of a woman talking in the house. Is Auntie at home? Yes, Minister Xiao, please come in. Tongyan nodded and said loudly, Mom, I'm back. Hey, Xiaoyan, you're finally back. Peng Fei has been waiting for you for a long time. A slightly bloated middle-aged woman stood up from the chair. When she saw Xiao Chen following Tongyan, her face obviously sank. Who is he? Without waiting for Tongyan to speak, Xiao Chen greeted with a smile, Auntie, hello, I'm Tongyan's friend. When Tong's mother heard this, she looked Xiao Chen up and down. He looked good, but his clothes were wrinkled and he came empty-handed. He looked like a poor guy. Friend? Humph, you want to be friends with Xiaoyan, right? Tong's mother's voice was a little sharp and harsh. Boy, I tell you, it's best to stay away from my Xiaoyan. Episode 19. People must have dreams. Hearing her mother's words, Tongyan's face changed. Mom, what nonsense are you talking about? We are just ordinary friends. Well, ordinary friends are the best. Tong's mother's face looked a little better, and then she smiled. Xiao Yan, come, I will introduce you to a young talent, Xiao Pengfei, you two should get along well. Hello, nice to meet you. Next to her, a young man looked at Tong Yan with fiery eyes and stretched out his right hand. A little helplessness flashed across Tong Yan's face. Here it comes again. In fact, as soon as she entered the door, she noticed this young man, and she also knew why this young man appeared in her home. Her mother was thinking about finding a rich man for her all day long, and then she would find some so-called young talents to come to the house every few days. Although she was a little naive, she was not stupid. She could see that these young talents didn't have any good ideas. Just like the one in front of her, didn't his eyes keep looking at her chest, flashing the most primitive desire? Tired of heart. Out of politeness, she nodded and shook his hand. Hello. Xiao Yan, let me tell you, Pengfei is amazing. He has his own business at a young age, and his assets are over 1 million. His family also runs a company, with assets of tens of millions. He is the only son in the family and the only heir. Tong's mother chattered beside her. Haha, auntie, I'm just playing around. The young man pretended to be modest, but the word proud was written on his face. Look, this kid is quite modest. Xian, I think you and Pengfei are a good match, why don't you try to date each other? Mom. Tong Yin saw that her mother was getting more and more outrageous, so she interrupted her and looked at Xiao Chen, who had been ignored, apologetically. Minister Xiao, I'm sorry, please take a seat. Nothing. Xiao Chen was not angry because he was ignored. Instead, he looked at the scene with interest, smiled, and sat on the chair. Minister Xiao, I'll make you some tea. Tong Yan regretted inviting Xiao Chen in. If she had known the situation at home, she would never have let him in. Tong's mother raised her eyebrows when she heard Tong Yan address Xiao Chen. Minister? Could he be an official? Thinking of this, her expression eased a little, and she looked at Xiao Chen. How long have you known my Xiao Yan? What do you do? Auntie, Tong Yan and I just met, we are colleagues. Colleague? Then why does she call you Minister Xiao? Haha, auntie, you don't know that some small companies are now divided into several departments. The head of the department is called the minister. There may be only 3 or 2 people in this department. The young man next to her said with a hint of sarcasm. When Tong's mother heard this, her expression, which had just eased, turned cold again. It's such a minister, I thought he was so awesome. Haha, my friend, I wonder which company you work for. This is my business card. The young man looked at Xiao Chen, took out a business card and handed it over. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.lashow. Chen took it and took a look. He saw a long list of titles written on it, such as assistant to the chairman of a limited company, president, etc. It looked very intimidating. In the family company, I am the assistant to the chairman. In my own company, I am the president. The young man was afraid that Xiao Chen would not understand, so he explained a few words. Oh, although I don't understand much, it looks like it is very powerful. Xiao Chen nodded continuously. Haha, it's not very powerful, it's just better than working for others. Xiao Pengfei grinned. My father said that now I should exercise more, and when I get married, he will let me take over the family company. Hey, taking over the family company, that would be a big boss worth tens of millions, right? Next to him, Tong's mother said with shining eyes and envy. With the cooperation of Tong's mother, Xiao Pengfei boasted even more excitedly, that's for sure. I believe that under my leadership, it will not be a problem for the family company to cross the 100 million threshold. Next to them, Xiao Chen looked at the 2 people and felt a little funny. The 2 of them were funny and flattering, just like a crosstalk. They matched well. What? 100 million? I wish I could have 100 million in my life. It would be worth it even if I died. Tong's mother was even more envious. Auntie, if I'm with Tong Yan, then what's mine is yours, right? Xiao Pengfei looked at Tong Yan who was pouring tea and said deliberately. Haha, good, I knew you were a filial child. Xiao Yan, did you hear that? Pengfei is such a good child, you can't be willful this time. Tong's mother was coaxed by Xiao Pengfei's words and smiled, wishing she could send her daughter to someone else's bed tonight. Tong Yen pursed her red lips. Due to her temperament, she didn't say anything, but she was very resistant in her heart. Xiao Pengfei blew for a while, and seeing that Tong Yen didn't seem to have much reaction, he lost interest. However, after thinking of something, he rolled his eyes and said, Tong Yen, was it Minister Xiao who sent you back just now? Yeah. Tong Yen nodded. I'm so sorry to bother Minister Xiao. How about this, I have plenty of time anyway, I will pick you up and drop you off at work in the future, how about it? Xiao Yen, look how considerate Pengfei is. Let me tell you, Pengfei's car is a BMW, a luxury car, it's very comfortable to sit in. Tong's mother also chimed in. Xiao Pengfei's smile became even stronger, and he pretended to take out the car keys casually, playing with them. Auntie, my BMW is not a luxury car, it's only a few $100,000. Xiao Chen looked at the car keys in Xiao Pengfei's hand, and thought about it. It seemed that there was really a champagne-colored BMW 5 Series parked next to the door. He didn't pay much attention to it just now, but it turned out to be this kid's. Xiao Pengfei originally thought that he could attract Tong Yan's attention by taking out the BMW car key, but to his frustration, the latter still had no reaction, which made him quite disappointed. He had tried this trick many times before, especially in front of some young girls who had not seen much of the world and were vain. The lethality of the BMW was still sufficient, but why didn't it work here? Minister Xiao, I think every man should have a dream of blue sky and white clouds, don't you have one too? Xiao Pengfei asked with a smile when he saw Xiao Chen looking at the car key. Xiao Chen shook his head, I don't. Oh. Haha, Minister Xiao, although you are working for others now and your income may not be that much, you still have to have dreams. What if they come true? And didn't someone say that if a person has no dreams, what's the difference between him and a salted fish? Xiao Pengfei paused, glanced at Tong Yen, and deliberately asked, I wonder what car Minister Xiao is driving now. Well, you are right, people do have to have some dreams. Xiao Chen said, taking out the key to the Maserati president from his pocket and throwing it on the table. However, I think anything that can be measured by money is not a dream. Episode 20. Don't show off. The car keys fell on the table with a crisp sound. The trident on it was flashing and dazzling. Xiao Pengfei was about to ridicule Xiao Chen's fallacy, but when his eyes fell on the trident, he swallowed his words back. Maserati? Xiao Chen looked at Xiao Pengfei's purple face and sneered in his heart. Boy, you want to step on me and show off to show that you are rich, right? Damn, you are the only one who has the car keys? Are you stupid now? You have no dreams, right? I've seen this car logo before. It's called Maserati or something? Tong's mother exclaimed beside her. Although she couldn't remember the name at the moment, she knew that it was a luxury car, and it was worth over $1 million. Mom, it's a Maserati. Tong Yen replied with a slightly strange look on her face. Others may not know, but she doesn't know? This car is not Xiao Chen's at all, but Mr. Su's. Yes, Maserati. This car must be more than 1 million, right? It seems to be more than 2 million. Although Tong Yen didn't know much about cars, she heard a colleague in the company say that Mr. Su's car is the highest configuration in the President series, nearly 3 million. This is a real luxury car. Tong's mother said subconsciously. Hearing Tong's mother's words, Xiao Pengfei felt even hotter on his face, especially when he thought of what he had just said to Xiao Chen, what blue sky and white clouds dream, what people have to have dreams. Nonsense, people already have a fucking trident, what blue sky and white clouds dream. This Maserati can easily buy him several BMWs. Haha, what luxury car, it's just a means of transportation. Xiao Chen said casually. Xiao Pengfei's mouth twitched a few times, damn, this is an expert in pretending. Listen to what he said, a car worth more than 2 million is just a means of transportation. Sure enough, when Tong's mother heard this, her eyes suddenly lit up, and her attitude immediately took a 180-degree turn. With a flattering smile on her face, yes, yes, in the eyes of you rich people, a few million is nothing. Tong Yen looked at her mother's arrogant and respectful performance, quite embarrassed, it was really too embarrassing. Pinswho.com https://www.vodtw.la. Haha, auntie, what kind of rich person am I? Driving a car worth several million in Longhai and having a net worth of tens of millions is nothing at all. I can barely make ends meet. When Xiao Chen said this, he glanced at Xiao Pengfei. His meaning was also very clear. Your family can only make ends meet. What kind of pretense are you? Do you have the qualifications? Fuck. Minister Xiao. No, this title is too formal. Since you and Xian are good colleagues and good friends, how about I call you Xiao Xiao? Tong's mother became even more enthusiastic and took the initiative to pour tea for Xiao Chen. Come on, have some tea. Haha, thank you, Auntie. What are you thanking me for? I'm telling you, in all these years, Xian hasn't brought any man back. After Tong's mother finished speaking, she suddenly noticed that Xiao Pengfei's face was getting uglier and uglier, and a rare flash of embarrassment flashed across her face. Well, Pengfei, don't just sit there, drink some tea too. Auntie, don't be fooled. Now many people go to Taobao to buy fake luxury car keys in order to show off. Xiao Pengfei said coldly. Ah. Fake? Tong's mother's face changed slightly, and she looked at Xiao Chen again. This really doesn't look like the dress of a rich man. Haha. Xiao Chen chuckled, glanced at his watch, and stood up. Auntie, I have something to do. I'm leaving first. I'll visit you another day. Leaving now? Then I'll see you off. Tong's mother also stood up. Seeing her off was fake, but she was really looking at the car. If the Maserati was real, then she really had to think about who her daughter should marry. Of course, there was nothing to consider. In her eyes, whoever had more money would marry her. I have something to do too, so I should leave. Xiao Pengfei also stood up. He also wanted to see if this guy really drove a Maserati. Xiao Chen naturally knew what the two were thinking, but he didn't point it out and walked outside. Several people came to the door. When Tong's mother saw the Maserati at the door, her face, which was left with traces of time, bloomed like a chrysanthemum. What a rich guy. Xiao Pengfei had a gloomy face. Damn guy, it was really a Maserati, and he was the president. Auntie, Tong Yan, I'm leaving first. Well, let's talk about dreams when we have time. Okay, Xiao Xiao, you have to come to see Auntie more often. At this moment, Tong's mother no longer had any doubts, and she liked Xiao Chen no matter how she looked at him. Yeah, I will. Xiao Chen agreed, nodded to Tong Yan, got into the car, and drove away slowly. I've never ridden in a luxury car worth millions of dollars in my life. I must go in and experience it some other day. No, I can ride it whenever I want. You better hurry up. Tong's mother said to Tong Yan, looking at the back of the car. Tong Yan was stunned. Hurry up for what? Of course, hurry up to get this sponsor. How far have you two progressed? Have you kissed? Have you slept together? Mom, what are you talking about? I've already said that we are just ordinary colleagues. Really? Of course it's true. Then hurry up and turn your ordinary colleague relationship into an extraordinary cohabitation relationship. Tong Yan was a little confused. What the hell is going on? Next to him, Xiao Pengfei's face also turned pale. He suddenly felt like he was cuckolded. Enough, do you think I don't exist? Tong's mother heard Xiao Pengfei's angry shout and turned to look at him. What's wrong? Xiao Pengfei became even angrier and glared at Tong's mother. What did you say before? Didn't you say that Tong Yan should be with me? Yes, I wanted her to be with you at first, but now I find that Xiao Xiao and my daughter are more suitable. How do you know they are more suitable? Because Xiao Xiao is richer than you. Tong's mother said this with confidence. Xiao Pengfei almost fainted when he heard this. Driving a Maserati makes you richer than me? Who the hell knows if that car is his? Pinswho.com https://www.vodtw.la. Xiao Xiao, this forced melon is not sweet. Look at my daughter and Xiao Xiao. Oh, what a coincidence, you both have the surname Xiao. My daughter and that Xiao Xiao have a better feeling, and I, as a mother, have to respect her choice, right? Xiao Pengfei couldn't listen to it anymore. This old woman is really too fucking shameless. Humph. Xiao Pengfei snorted coldly, got on the BMW with a sullen face, stepped on the accelerator, and drove away. Bah, what a thing, driving a broken BMW, you want to sleep with my daughter? Overestimating yourself. Tong's mother looked at the BMW going away, spit, and then grabbed Tong Yan. Let's go home and tell me about Xiao Xiao's affairs. How much money does his family have? At the gate of the #1 middle school in the city, Su Xiaoming was playing with her mobile phone boredly, and looked up and looked around from time to time. Damn guy, why don't you come? Suddenly, a roar came from far away, and several luxury cars stopped in front of her. One of the blue BMW 5 rolled down the window and poked a head out. Xiaoming, let's play together tonight. Get lost, I'm busy. Su Xiaoming glanced at 5 and frowned. You're busy. Haha, you have to go home and be a good boy again? The young man in 5's car said with a grin. Be your sister's good boy, I just don't want to play with you. Xiaoming, don't forget, I'm your boyfriend now. Bullshit, who admitted it? Oh, what, you don't plan to admit it? If it gets out, Su Ernyang will refuse to admit defeat. How can you survive in school? You. Su Xiaoming's face changed slightly. Just when she didn't know what to say, a black shadow rushed over and stopped steadily in front of her. At the same time, an apologetic voice sounded, Xiaoming, I'm sorry, I'm late.